Well, hello, hello, hello. If you've landed here, you've landed on Let's Talk News, and I'm your host, Leticia Remauro. And hopefully today the sound is working. Actually, I know it's working. We had some glitches yesterday after a 2 week hiatus, but at least we have technology working again. So that's a bonus. Hello, Robert Santillian. Good to have you with us tonight. So I had to expand on the show that we were doing last night, which was about Carmelo Anthony, but not specifically about Carmelo Anthony, but more about the reaction of, shall we call them supporters? I don't know that there should be supporters, there should be sides, rooting for sides in murder trials, but I guess that's what we've come to. Maybe we've always been there. We had witch trials where people took sides. We had, beheadings, and back in ancient times, we've had floggings. We've had a whole bunch of things where people came out in public to watch the horrific trials and punishments meted out. So maybe we haven't evolved as much as I think we have, but anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked. So the Carmelo Anthony supporters. Now, you'd ask, what do I mean by supporters? Well, these are people who seem to think that even though young Mr. Anthony admitted that he stabbed um, Metcalfe, right? Metcalfe, that somehow he should not have been convicted of murder because he was claiming self-defense. And there were stories abound about what that self-defense, what he was defending himself against. But witnesses went to court and said that at no time did they believe that the action of stabbing Metcalfe was warranted because Anthony was not being violently threatened by Metcalfe. So I don't know. I wasn't at the court. Nobody was, right? Because we weren't allowed to have cameras in the room, but we can hear from reporters who were in the room and what they're telling us, that the witnesses all said the same thing. People are claiming that the jury was an all-white jury. From reporting, I understand that the jury was racially mixed. However, there were no Black people on the jury. All four of the people who were called for jury duty who were Black were teachers, and for whatever reason, the prosecution did not, or the defense somebody didn't want teachers in the room, so they were dismissed. But anyway, what I want to talk about is the promotion by people with large voices that somehow Carmelo Anthony was not given a fair trial. So we're going to have some clips on that, but let's say hello to Karen. How are you, Karen? Yes, it is working. I don't know how, but deep in my computer, the microphone was turned off. It wasn't in the app. It was deep in my computer. At any rate, it took me quite a while to resolve it, but I did. Hello, Kevin Wall from the other side of the world, but the same side of the issues. Good to see you again. Hello, Francine. Good to have you. Hello, Kevin Young. Our OG Lucille Chavone is with us. Oh, my sister Marge is with us. We spent a fantastic time in New York together, attending my goddaughter's wedding, which was the other reason that I couldn't be on air. It was a beautiful affair. Tiffany Kaplan is now Tiffany Kaplan Hesja. So wonderful. Hello, Angela Ricca. Good to have you. Hello, Peter Romanovsky. Good to have you, Professor. Santillian says those who protested only did it by the color of his skin. Indeed, somehow this all became a black versus white issue, hence the title of today's show. And I'm still scratching my head how that wound up being, because the victim was white and the now convicted perpetrator was black. They knew each other. They were both at a track meet. It was just a terrible, terrible scenario. And I mean, both, because of the one action, both young people have lost their life. Metcalfe lost his life for good, but Anthony will never have his youth back. It was a bad decision, and that was what we talked about yesterday. Hello, Andrew Dorman. Happy Wednesday. Good to have you. Santillian says, the past month at work as a security officer, I now wear bulletproof vest I bought myself. My wife makes me wear it. I could see why that would happen. I really could. So let's take a look at where some of this black versus white stuff might be coming from. This is Texas Congresswoman, who will be Congresswoman no more, because she's not running for re-election, Jasmine Crockett. Listen to some of these clips from a recent interview.
Also, I mean, can we just be real about this? Like, who is, I mean, like, why are you rolling up on somebody and being like, get out? Like,
Correct.
This is, to me, this is the culture that is being instigated. Yeah. Mostly because of like, you know, y'all know how we say on the internet, don't let your president get you fucked up, right? Like, because people get bold. They get real bold with us right now, like, you know, and this whiteness and this replacement theory crap that they on and all of this kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, we the victims, because the fact that, you know, any kid would feel like it makes sense to walk in and see this particular kid. I mean, we've all interpreted that there was a race component to this. Yes. And be like, oh, yeah, it's raining, but get out. Like, why? Like, why? Was it a switch? I don't know what he had.
It was like it seemed like it was a multi-tool, almost like a Swiss Army.
Like with like with the little scissors and everything and whatever. Mm-hmm. So it was small. Mm-hmm. Well, I would have argued the size of it alone, you wouldn't even think it's a deadly weapon.
And that's forgot he had it in his bag.
If it was one of the little, like, I don't know. Like, I do think.
Well, that's why he went to his coach and was like, but I don't think I hurt him that bad.
Black women, especially Black women who have Black male children, live in fear and agony every single day. A fear and agony that I promise you, the Metcalfes probably never spent a day living that way. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have just some real conversations about race in this country.
So first, she would have argued that because the blade was small, it wasn't a deadly weapon, but it produced a death. So that, I guess that goes to tell us her skill level as a lawyer was no better than her skill level as a congresswoman. The fact that she has decided that there was a race component to this, I'm trying to understand who was the victim in her mind. Because that's what's got me confused. Who was the victim in her mind? Not only her mind, but in the mind of others who are claiming somehow that Karmelo Anthony has not been treated fairly. Who was the victim? I mean, listen, I'm not Black. I can never know what the experience are of somebody who is Black, but I'm also not a man, and I can't know the experiences of a man. I can know the experiences of women. Do I judge everything based on my experience, good or bad, as a woman? No, that would be insane. Why would I? I would judge things as experiences or how it affects me and my family and my friends as a group. I just don't understand where this is all coming from. Marge says he should not have a knife even under his own tent. He should not. It was a school event. There should have been no weapons. Why would there be a weapon? It was a track meet, for crying out loud. Centillion says the majority of blacks in Hawaii never talk about the nonsense of the case. I think that that's true everywhere. The majority of people are not speaking about it. And we're going to hear from somebody coming up. Kevin Young, anyone who protests for Anthony and says he was innocent are evil in their own ways. I think they're also just misguided. And again, we have somebody who's going to talk about that. I cannot stand the way she speaks ignorant. Yeah, it's she does that ghetto speech, that ghetto speak. And yeah, it's unfortunate. But listen, that's who she is, and that's how she got elected. But she's also not there anymore. She didn't get elected to Senate. So, Santillion says the only blacks that claim here are the mentally ill homeless transplants from the mainland. I get called a racist at least once a week by them. Angela Ricca, I was told he was stabbed directly in the heart. Directly in the heart, he was. Some say he flung it and got through. Others say he plunged it. I don't know which one. Again, the transcripts of the case, nothing has been made public. Only what reporters are telling us. Kevin Young, I feel he planned it because he was probably had hate inside him that no one can see. There was something between that group. There was something between the boys. I'm just not sure what. Santillion says it's not just the blacks here. You have illegals from Asia who are worse, stating racists. Well, and that's because America, that's what we're doing. I mean, we've allowed ourselves to, we're apologists, which makes zero sense because, okay, people are tribal, but America is the most welcoming of countries for the most part, before Joe Biden, let's say, than anywhere else. Hi, Gloria. It's good to have you. All right. So here's a reaction from someone about after the trial. Watch.
Collin County, Dallas, Texas, Arlington, Grand Prairie, Irvin, Dalworth, Plano, Denton, Keller. It ain't safe for none of you white folks to come out this weekend. I'm giving y'all a fair warning right now. And guess what? It's going to be a bunch of niggas outside that look like me. And we ain't out there with no pocket knives. We out there with these. I guarantee y'all going to pay for what that judge just did to Karmelo. If you don't believe me, bring y'all bold ass out this weekend and put on your Austin Metcalfe shirts and see what happened to you.
Okay. So with the threatening to harm white people because a jury convicted Karmelo Anthony of murder. I think it was manslaughter, actually, not murder. So this is a little out of hand, don't you think? Well, you can't lock him up yet, Lucille. He hasn't done anything. It's a threat, but he hasn't done anything. But this guy has done something, which is interesting.
Hey, wasn't you on jury selection?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Seriously. No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
He was on jury selection.
He's a vet, dude. He's a vet. He's a vet. He ain't been on jury selection.
I ain't worried about that.
Fuck you.
You gonna die.
Quit, dude.
You on jury? Wasn't you on jury selection?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
You on jury selection?
He wasn't.
You was on jury selection?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Oh.
No, he wasn't.
Not for Anthony, not for Karmelo Anthony. Oh. All right, my beat. I thought you was on jurisdiction for car. My beat. Man, what?
So he just beat that vet right in the head for no reason. Bragged about it on his social media. I'd say we have a problem. I'd say that we have a problem because the violence is just getting worse, and it's for no reason. Santillian said he's another blowhard terroristic. His words. Yeah, well, the problem is social media is, people are doing crap for clicks. I mean, he just rolled up on that veteran and punched him in the head. I mean, how would he know whether he was on jury selection or not? But I mean, the fact that she felt that she needed to explain that nobody called the police is the apologist syndrome that we're seeing in America. Marge says there were black teammates on Austin's team. Of course. This is, it's Texas. It was a Texas public school. There are going to be people of all ethnicities in the sports arena. This was just crazy stuff, but there was something between those kids beforehand, according to statements that Karmelo made, is that he felt that there was a rivalry with them, and he was going to show them. Andrew Dorma said, do these crimes relate to drug trafficking? No, these are not drug trafficking crimes. This is just now they're using the Karmelo Anthony verdict as a reason to justify violence against white people. Lucille says it is assault. It is indeed assault. Will those people report it? No. This is what, well, this was outside. Listen to what this gentleman says.
My lives don't matter. Fuck white lives. How about that? I'm saying that. Because y'all want to play these games. Y'all want to play these crackhead games, so I'm going to play them. Fuck white lives. How about that? I hate white people. I like pussy. The hungry, the crackhead, redneck pussy. That's the one I hate. Yeah, I know. I'm on this up. That's it. Holding on. I'm just a guy holding this up. You know why people are talking to you. You're acting surprised because you're black and talking with a white person. You know why they're just holding a sign. I'm not saying.
So the anger is deep, so deep that that gentleman was, listen, I wouldn't hug a stranger either, but they were both in the same place. It was trying to de-escalate the situation. And that's where we are. I mean, it's now, I never thought I'd see this. It feels like it's being manifested. And at a time when there were more programs to help people, women, gays, blacks, Hispanics, whoever, opportunities, doors open, whether they were forced open or they were open. We had that here in America. Now there's resentment again, or there's resentment cropping up more than ever before. And I'm just not quite sure whether or not the black resentment of whites, or the anger towards whites, is justified. I mean, it's just spreading. Who's spreading it? Elected officials. Southern Poverty Law Center, nonprofit organizations, because it's easier to conquer us if they could divide us. And it's working. It's working. They worked hard to get us there, whether it's, the abortion issue dividing us, whether it's religious issues dividing us, whether it's skin color issues dividing us, sex, gender issues dividing us. The people that want to undermine America are winning because they are dividing us, and they will conquer us. Karen says McKinney is a white community. Okay. But even in white communities, there are people of color. It might be majority white, but there are people of color. I live in South Carolina, and there are quite a few majority Black communities down here. But around the country, even white communities have people of color. Gary says, good, then I'll be sure to be on watch for it. Dumb shit. He'll be in jail shortly. Oh, that's the guy who's coming out to harm white people. Centillion, my recommendation for all who walk the streets to your point A to point B, carry pepper spray or a baton and stay far away from protesters. I agree about staying away from protesters. No good can come from that. Centillion says he carries both. Gary, you gun if you have to, one for self-defense. It's it's interesting and it's scary and it's heartbreaking to me that we've come to this. Let's see. This is what happened to the Metcalfe family as they were leaving the courthouse yesterday.
They are leaving right now. Here they are. I want you guys to know that I am 6 foot even. My phone is at my head, and the guy in the back is his brother. Karmelo Anthony was 5'9", 5'8", something like that. So you had 2 of those people standing over him. You said 9 o'clock. You said 9 o'clock. Everybody is press. You have freedom of press. It's the First Amendment.
This is brother right here. Let him leave. Let him leave.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You guys didn't do shit. God got it. Don't worry about it. Karmelo didn't have no criminal record. They got no bullying record.
So could you imagine being the mother and the brother and the parents of a young boy who was murdered at a track meet, walking out of the courthouse and hearing, "We're glad Austin is dead"? And then another guy justifying that because one of the boys was, or both of the boys were taller than Anthony, that justified Anthony killing him. I can't make it make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And it's killing me that this is happening. That's why I had to extend the show and do another day of it, because to see these clips out there tells me that this is a more widespread sentiment than I thought, with people feeling that Anthony was the victim and not Metcalfe. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised, because this is the same group of people that are peddling the thought that men can have babies. And men should be in women's sports. It's mental. We have mental disorders happening right now in this country. And they're being amplified by irresponsible people. It really, really is upsetting that we've come to this, because I think about the elections. I think about what happened in Maine with the Nazi who was elected by 72% to be the Democratic nominee, and Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and others endorsing him while they call Republicans Nazis. And I feel like I'm living in an alternate universe. It's killing me. Dorman says, welcome back. Congratulations to you with your family celebration. Good show, good issues, good night. Okay, Andrew, thank you. Gloria says, I'm 74 years old and have never seen hate like this before. Neither have I. Santillion, those protesters are all fed by lies from the Chinese TikTok app. Yeah, it feels like that. It feels like that. I think that Trump made a big mistake. I'm going to take that back. I believe in free speech. I do. So I don't want anything censored, and I don't want people telling me what I can and can't see or hear. But we have to be mindful of what's happening here. I saw an AI. I should have cut it and showed it to you, but I didn't want to perpetrate it. Somebody saying that Kamala Harris was there talking to the Anthony family, and clearly it was AI. It wasn't her voice, but some people will think it was her. Let's see. I think the Black community, Kevin Young says, I think the Black community should cool it. If they start trouble, martial law can be declared. And it's not a pretty picture. The rubber bullets really hurt. I don't think that you can have martial law unless there are riots. But perhaps there will be. I don't know. But it doesn't matter, because they all go back to January 6th, right? Whenever there is any violence on the left, everybody starts yelling. Everybody on the left starts yelling January 6th. The professor says catharsis. Yep. Gary, I imagine if he was found not guilty, they'd be hooping, hollering, and dancing while some boy lies dead. Well, if it was opposite and the killer was white and the victim was Black, they'd want that kid swinging. They'd want the death sentence for him. So apparently it matters what color the skin is. Hate, Andrew says, hate crimes are stemming from solicitation of lies and misinformation about unfairness. This is true. This is a sign of trouble. It really is. Okay, so in the wilderness, every once in a while, they're sensible. Somebody sensible who has a pretty big following. Watch.
So here we are. The defense has rested its case. They really didn't have a case. What I think happened was that some people went to Karmelo Anthony's parents and probably told them that he would get off if he went to trial, that they could convince the jurors of his innocence. But the bottom line is this: he was not innocent. He is not innocent, and he is going to have to pay for this crime. They were trying to possibly get him off because they were probably thinking, like O.J. Simpson, that he would somehow get off. After he took this boy's life, he threw the knife and he took off running. One of the school resource officers caught up with him. He said that he did it. He said he did it. There were eyewitnesses there. Here is what people don't understand. I continue to see this in my comments, that he needs to keep his hands to himself. Well, Black folks, you can't have rules for me and not for thee. Because if your child touched someone or pushed them, shoved them, punched them, whatever, and they stabbed them in the chest and they lost their life, you would not think think that this was fair. But you think it's fair regarding Austin because he's white. Do you know why you think that? It's because you are jealous of white people. You have been told since you were children that they had advantage over you. So you have watched a lot of white people live a good life, and you think that it is time for them to suffer because of your suffering. But what you don't understand is that your suffering is because of you. If you renew your own mind, and if you got in your head that if God is for you, that no man can stand against you, you could have the same thing that you believe that white people have that you don't have. Do you not understand that there are also white folks that can't find jobs, that there are white people that are on food stamps and everything else? Most of the white people that I talk to don't even know about this imaginary race war or this hatred that they have towards us. You've been told that. So now anytime a case comes up where it's a black person that has done wrong to someone white, you guys do a knee jerk and you side with the black person because you think that finally they are getting their payback. You need to fix your heart. Is something wrong with you? His parents had no wisdom. This is why they blew all the money that was raised in that GoFundMe. If they had any wisdom, as soon as the school called and told them what happened, they would tell him, you need to plead guilty. Don't even take this to trial. Don't put the Metcalfes through any more pain because their son was taken. Where is the compassion for the Metcalfe family? There has been none. It's almost like they are being assaulted every single day because of a tragedy that happened to their son. The parents, instead of exercising wisdom and saying, hey, plead to manslaughter because you did it. But instead, you want to take it to trial because you thought that he would be able to get off. There is no way he's going to get off. If he did, it would be a travesty. A complete travesty and miscarriage of justice, considering that people have seen what happened. He said he did it. This is no argument. The argument comes because you have a lot of people that deal in their feelings, and they think that they have a say in what happens in a court of law because of how they feel. My saving grace, the thing that gives me hope, is that there are only a handful of nut jobs outside of that courthouse. Sharpton is not out there. These other people, they're not out there. They aren't going to touch this with a 10-foot pole because it's common sense.
Wow. Kimberly Blakes. She raised some very good points. Do I think it's going to change anything? No, but she raised some very good points. And the reason I feel like we have to talk about this, I'm probably going to get skewered for it, but I don't give a shit, is that we have been conditioned now to apologize for being white. And when we do that, when we apologize for being white, we are also looking at people of color as inferior to us. Because if we are apologizing for something, then what we're apologizing for is privilege, and which means that we must be superior, right? We're not. We're all the same. Skin color doesn't matter. Men, women doesn't matter. We all have the ability. What we do with that ability, that's something else. And environment, people say, oh, well, product of the environment. That's only some of the story. I came from middle class people. I studied. I know everybody in my family were working class. I changed my trajectory. People have the opportunity to do it. Nobody gave me any favors. Nobody gave me any handouts. Nobody said, oh, you're a woman, you're going to get a little extra. As a matter of fact, it might have been more difficult because I had children and I was married. And so employers looked at me as somebody who might take off too much because my children were young. So we all have crosses to bear and we all have opportunities in front of us. So I, for one, am not going to be an apologist because I don't think that I'm better than anybody, nor do I think that I'm worse off than anybody. I think that we all face hurdles. Some of us face hurdles because we're dumb. That's it. Some of us face hurdles because of our looks or of our ability to speak or our education. We all face hurdles. but we all also have opportunities to better ourselves because that's where we live in America. If we lived in a socialist environment, we wouldn't have that opportunity. And we go back again to the people that want to undermine America. If you can divide us, you can conquer us. Let's see. Santillion says, remember the guy from India last week? Yes, that shot a white guy. All right, he was Indian. The guy was white. The brown skinned guy shot the white guy. And while the white guy was laying, the cops arrested the white guy, and the white guy was bleeding out, and he was saying, I can't breathe, help me, help me. The Indian guy said the white guy racially profiled him. The white guy died without treatment because the cops gave benefit to the brown person. Apologizing, right? Apologizing on behalf of the guy laying on the ground for his superiority or his privilege. Kevin Young says parents should be held accountable also. They should get off if they think this is okay. Well, let me tell you something. The parents blew $600,000 that was raised for Anthony in a GoFundMe for his attorneys who, if you ask me, did no favor for the kid. Hi, Mickey. Good to have you. Kevin says, we don't apologize for anything. White people were struggling. My father struggled to get to middle. You have to work for it. You do. You do. Gary says there should be pushback on this. However, too many people shut down in fear of making things worse. Exactly. And that's why we're talking about it, because I wasn't going to cower away from this. This is something that needs to be discussed. We should not match anger. We should just not apologize. And we should not be proud of who we are. Not because of our skin. I mean, you can't choose whether you're born, white or black. You can't choose if you're born a boy or a girl. And you can't choose to change that afterwards. And this whole identifying stuff, well, if that's the case, then why don't all the black people just identify as white? And we'll be done with it. Or the brown people. It's the insanity is running deep. And we have to stop. We have to stop identifying ourselves by gender, by skin color. We have to stop being victims. And that's the problem. That's the real problem. Kevin says class. Oh, I guess, working class. Okay. Kevin Wall says it was Ireland and he was stabbed. Oh, okay. It was Ireland? Okay. And stabbed. Okay. Thanks for the clarity. Marge says on a house. I'm trying to figure out what that means. Santillion, don't even get into those conversations. Well, you're right about not getting into the conversations, but are we? I mean, how do we not talk about it? It's happening, and we should talk about it with each other, and we should stop it. I mean, you can't stop it if you don't discuss it. That's my 2 cents. And I've had my head taken off many times, by people who decided after I helped them do 1,000 different things and was a friend, and all of a sudden, because I was a Trump supporter, I became racist. I don't know. And I've also been accused of being a Nazi, which is, it's hysterical, which is when I look at this Plattner guy, I'm trying to understand the insanity, but I won't understand the insanity. You know why? Because I'm not insane. So I don't want to try. I just want us all to stop apologizing for everything and stop allowing insanity to rule. Do not play the game. Okay, a couple of more comments here. Gary says the big factor is you can't choose to be smart if you're dumb. Well, that's the biggest one of all. And it's a great, great comment. Santillion says, mind your business and let them talk retarded amongst themselves. Okay. It is too dangerous on the streets here to butt in or even comment. I get it. Not everybody can comment. Not everybody has a platform, but we have one here. So we're going to use it. And hopefully we're going to use it for good instead of evil. Oh, Marge says that they bought a house with the GoFundMe money. Okay. Well, I guess that Anthony will see it when he's about 50. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much for being here today. I will see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I think that our new time, I think we're just going to do 3 days a week. We're going to do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the summer. And until mom is back on her feet. I hope that's okay with all of you. And I look forward to seeing you. Okay. See you tomorrow.